computer, but then I don't know if it'll, let me see if it allows, oh yeah, it should allow me to share the screen. Okay, awesome, thank you, Tony. She's a tech girl.
Hi, Olga.
And then let me see if I can,
Hey, Melissa.
Hi.
can everybody see this okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. You see the full screen though, because for some reason I have you guys on the bottom. Okay, all right. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being on tonight's call. We decided to call it Let's Do Some Spring Cleaning, all about nutrition. And I'm gonna start it off by sharing a little bit about myself, just because I don't know that everybody here knows me, but just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background. Can everybody just go on mute? Thank you.
I'm here.
Okay. Can you guys mute yourselves if you have background noise? Thank you. Okay, so my name is Denise Martino, and I've been a coach and started my journey back in December of 2010. I've lost a total of about 50 pounds, 55 pounds, you know, I gained it in there. But I've managed to keep it off now for, what is that, almost 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to share that just because, you know, Cruz and I, just like a lot of us here, we've been doing this for some time. But I feel like although we've had ups and downs in terms of our fitness, in terms of our weight gain and you know, just, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I feel like we've done pretty much a good overall job of maintaining and keeping it off, except for some obstacles that, you know, that life hits and gets in the way. But I feel like, because I don't claim to be an expert at this. So that's why I wanted to kind of share my background in terms of the weight loss, because I'm not an expert. However, we've managed to figure out how to maintain and how to keep the weight off. Okay, so I'm going to pass it on to Cruz. Let her quickly just introduce herself.
Okay. Hey, guys. Okay, so my name is Cruz Garcia. Cruz, well, its married name is Medina, but I'm a mother. I have 2 grown kids. One is 25, the other one is 19. I'm 46 years old. So for the ladies here that are older, like I am, what I want to share with you tonight is that, yes, it does get a little bit hard to lose the weight as you get older, but it is not impossible, especially if you are very intentional about what you're eating. So with me, I came in back in 2012 at 65, 200, a little over 200 pounds, and I lost 65 pounds, okay? And during that time, I thought that that was the hardest thing that I ever will have to face until I had my hysterectomy about a year and a half ago. And because of that hysterectomy, I ended up recently, the doctor telling me that my estrogen levels are very low. And because of that, it was getting very hard for me to lose the weight that I had gained during my hysterectomy. So like Denise shared, we are not experts. However, I had to play with my nutrition, because what worked for me back in 2012, when I lost the 65 pounds with Beachbody, was not working for me now. So playing with our nutrition, I was able to figure out a way to start losing the weight. Even if it's slow, but I've started to lose, and I've already lost about 15 pounds, okay? So I just want to share with you guys a little bit. Well, Denise and I want to share with you guys a little bit of what we have found. And a lot of it is the same things that you have heard before. But I think that sometimes we forget that we just need to go back to basics, because that's basically what it is basics. All right, Denise.
So why did we decide on this topic? We decided to talk to you guys and share and with this topic, because although nutrition is the most important piece of all of this, it's actually our biggest challenge. you guys have probably heard that term, that nutrition is like, what is it, 85% of the battle. The fitness piece of it, the exercising, we love to exercise. We can get ourselves doing it. We can get ourselves, getting our workouts in. However, for the majority of the women that I talk to, and the ladies that I help, the majority of them come back and say that they're having a hard time with their nutrition. We've come to find out that a lot of times, even people who just make, and I've actually have had clients who couldn't really exercise and had made changes in their nutrition, and they experienced weight loss, so that in itself tells me how important nutrition is. And it's still such a huge challenge for us for so many reasons. So we figured, let's bring this topic to you all today. And like Cruz said, let's get back to basics. Cruz?
Okay, so one of the things that we know that deals a lot with our nutrition is the connection between mindset and how we deal with what we're putting into our system. So shifting our mindset to start looking at food as fuel, as something that we need when not only when we're hungry, but we have to be very intentional about when we're getting those hunger signals. Why are we getting them? Okay. We want to be able to live a life of purpose, right? We want to be able to live a life that reflects what we truly want to be. For that, we have to be able to change our mindset when it comes to the food that we're actually taking in. Like I said, food should be our fuel. And if you think about like examples, you have to think about when we go like on vacation. Okay, what happens when we go on vacation? We think it's like a free fall, okay? We go to the buffet table, we go to the alcohol, we start with the alcohol, and we forget all about what our goals were. We forget about that we're going to end up at the end of that vacation, we're going to end up with a good 10, 15 pounds on us. And then how are we feeling when we're coming back? We feel crummy, okay? Because I know I do. I feel horrible after a vacation at times because I know that I wasn't really being intentional. I just had a girl that was going off on vacation today. And this is one thing I've been going through in my group, and my ladies know that I've been harping on them about being more mindful, okay, about what you're eating. It does make a difference. Because when you're thinking before you're putting that food and you're really thinking about, you know what, am I really hungry? Am I really thirsty? Or is it that, I'm feeling emotional, I'm feeling stressed out at this point, and this is why I'm going to eat this. So you have to be able to start thinking that way before you start putting food in your mouth. Birthdays. We think that birthdays are like entitlement, like we're entitled to just splurge away and forget about everything. And no, food, yes, have your little piece of cake. You don't have to overdo it. You don't have to overdo, a big, enormous meal just because it's there. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to take it in. Stress is another form that what happens, we use food, okay, when we're stressed out, when we're emotional. I know I used to a lot. And I know Denise is going to talk more about emotional eating, but there are different avenues, there are different ways that you can express when you're stressed out. So what do I do when I'm stressed out now? Honestly, I go and I work out. If I'm doing a workout that's a little too slow, I'll go and do a workout that's going to have me punch something. I know Olga's doing corps de force. She knows exactly how that is. And when you start doing corps de force, you're there punching away and, your mind just goes. And that's what you need. You need to be able to start expressing and using different avenues when you're feeling that emotional stress that sometimes we get, especially as women. At times, what happens when when I used to get my period, I know I used to be with cravings, and I used to get like out of my mind stressed. Okay, and what did I used to do? Go to my chocolates, go to fried foods, and instead what I was doing is gaining more weight instead of helping my health. Okay, so if you were really more conscious about it, and especially throughout your journey, you could be losing 0.2 pounds a day. 0.2 pounds a day, ladies, which will equal to about a pound each week if you were just concentrating on your nutrition. So keep that in mind. Every time you want 0.2 pounds a day, you could be losing, okay? Exercise should be your stress reliever. That should be the thing that you go to. If not, a hobby that you're interested, either if you're interested in knitting and reading, whatever it is, use different avenues for yourself, okay? And that's all I have to say on mindset. And we actually have 2 books that we're going to be recommending at the end for mindset and nutrition.
I'd like to add to that.
Go ahead.
Mindset, we have to really start thinking of the kind of relationship that we have with food, right? Once you start to shift the way that you think about food, meaning going with what Cruz was saying, if you're feeling emotional, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling happy, think about those times that you go towards food for comfort. And that is the type of relationship that you are going to have to start to change. And it says here on top, food is part of life. You eat food for substance and to function. So that whole terminology, I'm a foodie, you need to get that terminology out of your head, right? Because the way that I was able to change my mindset, and it was not an easy process, it's not something that happened overnight, was that I started to think about my relationship with food, and I made a conscious effort to change the way that I thought about food. Yes, I love to eat. Yes, I enjoy it. However, I've been able to change my thought patterns in terms of I need food to make me healthy. I need food to fuel my body, as opposed to, ooh, I want to eat that donut because I know it's going to taste really good. Trust me.
Exactly.
It took me time. What do you want to say?
No, I was going to say exactly, because what happens, sometimes we're thinking that we're hungry. Just like Denise just said, okay, you know what? I'm going to eat that donut because it looks really good. Because you're seeing and you become visual. It's like your sensory, right? But you have to be able to shift that and start thinking like, we said food is fuel. Yes, Sally, food is fuel. And Tony, I got something for you with that craving. Shakeology, water, and add an avocado. And it's amazing. It takes that craving away, because I just read your thing. And Olga, most definitely, that workout is like the bomb.
Sorry, guys, I can't really see because I have it in the slideshow version and I can't see the chat. So we want you guys to start thinking about this, okay? So understand that you're going to need patience. Understand that this is going to be a process, because changing the mindset is a lot easier said than done. There's going to be a lot of times that you will fail. There's going to be a lot of times that you're going to regain some weight, and you're going to go back to old habits. It's almost like smoking, right? What do they say about smokers? That sometimes, it takes them 2 or 3 times where they quit smoking to then finally quit, right? Because they'll go back. So it's the same thing with the bad food habits that we have, right? So start to think about this, and in terms of portions, nutrition counts, even a small amount of weight loss can lead to big health benefits. So that is the mind shift that we want you to really implement, is look at food as it's fueling my body. I need it in order to help me get through workouts. I need it in order to take care of my health.
Okay. And I just wanted to go back to one thing that Sally just said about Snacking is good, Mama, but one thing that I would advise you is to try and keep your snacks to 100 calories a day. Okay, well, per 100 calories, but don't over snack, because believe it or not, snacking can also lead you to weight gain if you're not snacking on the proper foods and if you're just snacking too much, okay, throughout the day. So 100 calories, each snack should be about 100 calories, no more than that. And we're going to be giving you guys a list of different little snacks that you can have, okay? And won't make you gain weight like that. Okay, Denise?
Me? Okay. So we are going to be sharing some tips that are definitely going to fit into the 21-day fixed meal plan. But these are also just kind of some additional tips that are going to help you in terms of your weight loss and overall health. So adopt the phrase water first, veggies most. Water first, veggies most. So what does that mean? I know that I already kind of, and Cruz has also implemented this in her challenge group, where we are encouraging you guys to drink a gallon of water a day. And I know that it sounds like a lot. I'm still kind of just almost getting to the gallon a day. It's been a little bit of a process for me, just because I've recently have gone back to that. But anyway, I want you guys to strive towards this, okay? Hunger can be confused for thirst. I definitely have, I have noticed that this, for a fact, it applies to me, because whenever I have the munchies or whenever I think that I'm hungry, I'll drink water and it actually goes away. So we want to encourage you guys to drink 16 ounces of water first before each meal. I've already had a few of you tell me, Denise, I work. I can't be going to the potty every 20 minutes. And I totally get it. I mean, use your judgment, ladies, you know. But we just want you to start to kind of implement this as much as you possibly can to your daily nutrition. So taking a deep breath and drink 16 ounces of water before every meal, before every snack, bite, nibble, and set reminders, whatever you need to do to track your water. They sell cute little water bottles, you know, that have like the labels, and it tells you how much water you're drinking. I know that me and Cruz, I kind of walk around with my big jug around the house, and that's the way that I can gauge how much water I've had for the day. The more water that you drink, the more weight you're going to lose. And I've already implemented this just in the past week or two, and I've lost 2 pounds.
She loves me.
And, you know, this could be part of it. There's another tip that we're going to share that could also be part of this, but my water intake definitely. And again, it's going back to basics, because I knew this, but I think that a lot of times we get comfortable, and, you know, we allow just life to get in the way, and we forget those things that seem kind of little. We forget to do them. I totally sometimes forget to drink the amount of water that I should be drinking, right? So it's just kind of going back to that. Incorporating veggies whenever possible. And, you know, again, keeping in mind the 21-day fix, I understand that we have a certain amount of containers, but if you feel hungry, go for the veggies in the water. Like if you're on category 1 and you feel like, man, I want to munch on something, just go for the veggies. Whatever veggies it is that you like, have them handy. Like, you know what I've been doing now? I know it may cost a little bit more money, but I buy the sliced up celery and carrots that already come in a container, because that's easy access for me and my kids, right? So if like I know it sounds a little lazy, but if I don't want to cut up celery and clean it up and peel my carrots, I know that I can very easily go into the fridge, and I love carrots and hummus, and that's a super quick snack for me, because guess what? If I'm having a craving or if I'm hungry and those cookies or those crackers are around and they're quicker to pick up than the veggies, I'll pick that up. So I'm very purposeful and intentional about some of those things, and about having some of those snacks in certain areas, and like out of sight, out of mind for me. Like the stuff that I like that I buy for the kids, they're not in an area where it's easy access for me. So start thinking about that. Like start kind of being intentional about where you have your snacks and things like that. So I know I'm kind of going off a little bit, but in terms of veggies, there's so many different ways that you can load up on your veggies. I know that there's certain flavors of the Shakeology where you can blend some spinach and you won't even taste it. Like the tropical vegan Shakeology, like the strawberry, like whatever veggies you like. I like baby spinach because to me, I don't taste it when I blend it. So, don't be afraid, and whatever, however you need to kind of mix in your veggies. I also love to mix in my veggies with eggs because honestly, guys, I don't really like eggs like that. I have to make my eggs taste good, and I'm not really the biggest veggie person. So I have to try and come up with kind of creative ways to season it up and make it in a way that I like it. And I love to put veggies in eggs, and I do it every day. You were going to say something, Cruz?
Yeah, I was. Okay, so one thing that I do want to go back to is the water, okay, because this is very important, and I want you guys to really understand this. So first thing in the morning, what you guys are going to do is you're going to have 60 ounces of water, okay, before you put anything into your system. Any, whether it's Shakeology, whether it's coffee, whether it's your eggs, whatever it is in the morning, 60 ounces of water first, okay? So then before you go and you eat your breakfast, 60 ounces of water. If you're just going to have a cup of coffee, coffee is not free, which means that you have to earn your coffee, okay? Not with the creamer or none of that. 60 ounces of water. You chase the coffee with this first, okay? It's very important that you get that everything that goes into your system, 16 ounces of water. Eventually lead up to that gallon of water a day. Why? Because that is what's going to rid your body of the toxins. It's going to help you to lose body fat, okay? And I know you guys have heard this all before, but this all works. So make sure that you're trying to reach that gallon of water and that you're doing the 16 ounces of water before you put anything in your mouth, okay? Denise? Okay, am I doing this one? Cravings? Yes? Okay.
Together, you, me, sure.
Okay, so cravings. Cravings, okay, so it should be, how we should be starting is once we have our dinner, that's it. We're done. We move on. We don't have anything else. So there are different types of cravings, right? It could be cravings because we're emotional. It could be such as we're, cravings because we're angry, because we are anxious, because we're bored, all right? So you need to be able to really listen to your body, have a connection with your body, listen to it, and eat when you're not physically hungry. When you're not there starving, that's when you should eat, okay? Because when you're starving, it's already too late. What's going to happen when you're starving? You're going to want to eat everything in sight, okay? So don't eat when you're physically hungry, when you're not physically hungry, okay? So you have to also recognize the signals that your body is sending you, okay? Is your stomach grumbling? Are you low in energy? Those are all signals that your body is sending you. So you have to be able to recognize that and know, okay, you know what? That's called mindful eating, all right? That's going to develop your awareness of eating habits that you have. All right. So emotional eating is never okay. And I know that Denise is going to actually cover something on this. After dinner, snacking, that's it. You don't snack anymore. You have your dinner and you're done. And I will tell you one thing about dinner time, protein and veggies. Okay. Leave your carbs for earlier in the day. Have protein and veggies. That's exactly what I've been doing, what Denise has been doing, and a lot of my girls have been doing, and they have been seeing the results because of it, okay? So it's not only you're killing yourself in a gym for an hour, 2 hours, so that you're doing workouts for an hour, 2 hours. Nutrition has an enormous part of this, and if you're filling yourself up with carbs at night and you're not really using them, carbs are fuel, okay? So if you're not using them, then what? they're going to turn into what? Someone? There you go. Thank you. So you have to keep your carbs earlier in the day. Use protein and veggies for the evening. Okay? Go ahead, Denise.
No, so the only thing that I wanted to add to that is, again, just kind of picking up on those signals. This is a process, so make sure that you're paying good attention to those emotions. Pay attention to your body. I know that a lot of people recommend journaling, just kind of writing down so that you can start kind of identifying a pattern in terms of those times that you break down and that you crave and that you turn to junk food or whatever your food of pleasure or comfort is. Journaling is a really good idea. For me, honestly, like reaching out to somebody or just grabbing a bottle of water or distracting myself pulls me away from emotional eating, because I am a huge emotional eater. And it's funny that Cruz mentioned bored, but yes, I will want to eat junk when I'm bored. But I've been able to identify that throughout my journey. So I already have it, and I'm not to say that I'm perfect at it, but for the most part, I have a plan when I'm feeling that way, and that's what I do. So, I distract myself. I'll drink water. I'll try to have some fruit handy. I know that we really should be striving towards not eating after dinner, but there are going to be times that we might feel a little something. So on occasion, if I really kind of messed up with my eating earlier in the day, I'll have a shake at night as opposed to eating something heavy. But I mean, what I'm really trying to stress here is that you have to start monitoring yourself, okay, and pay attention to yourself, because you are unique and you're not like anybody else, right? So pay attention to those times during the day that you feel like you're kind of gravitating towards those foods that you've been using or that you've used in the past for comfort that have probably led to your weight gain. So think about that as we share here, because we developed a lot of bad eating habits in the past for a reason, right? There's a reason for that. And even kind of going back to the mindset piece that I wanted to share, tell yourself that you can never go back to those old habits that you've had. I mean, that has to be done, because those same habits that you had that led you to this weight gain have to be done. Like, you have to break away from them, right? And a lot of times it's connected to emotions and experiences and sometimes health. So I don't think did I want to add anything else to the emotional piece? No,
that was it.
I'm a little off today. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go.
So,
okay.
All right.
Oh, you're going to? Go ahead.
Okay. So we're going to start implementing something new in our groups, and I've already kind of have splashed it on you guys for those of you that are in my group, and I believe that Cruz has incorporated this. When I first started on my weight journey, actually I was weighing in every day. We were not part of a challenge group. There was no such thing back then. There was no 21-day fix back then. We were on a pretty basic meal plan that worked. I got very quick results. Within 5 months, I lost 50 pounds. But guess what? I was weighing myself every day. And although I get people messaging me, Denise, I don't want to weigh myself every day. I don't like that. We've kind of pulled away from it. So we just kind of decided once a week is okay. But guess what? Once a week is not okay. It really isn't, because so much can happen within that week. So for the sake of the challenge group, we are asking weigh-ins to be 3 days a week. However, I encourage you guys to weigh yourselves every day. Every single day, first thing in the morning, take off your clothes. No water in the system yet, though. Weigh yourself as soon as you wake up, and that is your true weight. And the reason why is because that gives you an opportunity to fix whatever happened the day before. Yes, we're going to have some weight gain if we have our period. Sometimes we have an off day. That's okay. But you don't want to let too many days without weighing yourself, because then what tends to happen is that we lose motivation. We let 2, 3, 4, 5 days pass, and oh my God, I gained weight 3 pounds. And then you can't really track how you've gained that weight. We have to relearn our bodies. As Cruz said, your body changes. As you get older, as you have children, your body changes. And the same way that you were able to maybe lose weight 5, 10 years ago is not the same way that your body responds to it today. So understand that this is a process of relearning your body constantly. You're constantly relearning your body. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is weighing yourself pretty consistently every day, so that you can figure out, okay, I gained a pound. Okay, I can take it back to, I ate 5 cookies yesterday at, after 9 o'clock at night, or whatever it is, right? Or maybe you went out to dinner and you kind of, went a little crazy with the chips. But at least it gives you an opportunity to fix it and keep moving forward, and don't sit on it. And it's just a pound, or maybe it's just half a pound, as opposed to 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds that you regain, and it throws you off. So did you want to add to that, Cruz? Do you feel like?
Yeah, I did actually. So for the last 30 days, a little over 30 days, I have been weighing myself every single day. Okay. And I will be sharing with my group my weight, because I'm able to track it with the weight scale that I have. But let me tell you something. The beauty about weighing yourself every single day, what I have found is that now I have a different relationship with the food that I eat. Why? Because today I can be 1 pound less, 1 pound less. And tomorrow, because of whatever I ate today, okay, it makes me realize, wow, that really isn't that great for me. I get to know what works for me and for my body. Okay, so tomorrow I may be up, let's say 0.4 pounds. And I'm like, okay, I know exactly where I went wrong. Either I didn't have enough water, or, like Denise said, maybe I had a cookie, or maybe I had, carbs late at night. So one thing that you should try to do as well is to not eat, like I try to eat, the latest that I try to eat my dinners is between 7, 8 o'clock, no later than that. And even my GYN had told me the same thing. Try not to eat later than 8 o'clock. It makes a big difference. And I know some of us work really late, and sometimes we're, running behind and we're hungry and everything. What I would say to that is have a Shakeology at night, if that's the case. Don't put in like 300-400 calories into your system so late at night, if it's 9, 10 o'clock. Denise?
Also, we want you to be okay with the process. Okay, love your bodies for wherever your body is at. If you've gained a little weight, like from one day to the next, it's not to, it's not to, to be upset. It's all it is that you are learning your body and you're figuring it out. So look at it as you're tracking, and be okay with that. And I really want to encourage, and I'm sure Cruz does as well, to post your weight in the group, and then share whether or not you've gained a little bit or you lost a little bit, and why you think it happened. Because we want you guys to really start thinking about it as well, because this is also going to change your relationship with your weight. I mean, so many times I think a lot of us, especially starting off, we hate the thought of having to step on that scale, but we want you to start thinking of that relationship with the scale in a different way. Okay, so it's not for you to beat yourself up or to get angry or whatever. It's just, let me figure it out. This exactly what Cruz said. This is what happened the day before. Okay, now I understand that I can't eat that kind of bread or whatever, like some of the other girls in the group can. Right? Because my body is different.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so importance of meal prepping. This is one thing that we do stress in the groups, in the challenge groups, and that's because we have found that when we're not prepared, what happens? When we don't have a plan, we go through the week aimlessly and we open ourselves up for even more temptations when we're outside. And that leads to more unhealthy eating. So on Sundays, what I try to do is on Sundays, I meal prep for 3 days. Then on Wednesday, I'm meal prepping for the rest. Okay? And that works for me. I cannot meal prep for a whole week. It just is not going to happen. Okay? Because I'm just too busy at times and everything. So I do it for 3 days. Then on Wednesdays, I go and I do for the rest. Why? And I go with my list to the grocery store. It's important to plan beforehand, before you hit the grocery store, before you hit, the supermarkets, because what's going to happen is if you don't go with that plan of what you're going to eat, you're going to be more susceptible to just pick up anything you see there. And that's when we start picking up the cookies and we start picking up, any candies or whatever that we may see that looks so good, okay, or any sugary cereals. So go with a plan. Trader Joe's is actually an amazing, amazing place to shop, okay? Most of it, we would recommend hands down for you to get, okay? Most of it. So it's very good for you to start your shopping if you can. If you do have a Trader Joe's nearby, go, because they do have most of the things that you are going to need. And be thoughtful in terms of food shopping. Like I said, go with your list or use a delivery service. I know that Denise uses a delivery service. I usually go with my list to the supermarket. But Denise, you can talk more about the delivery service.
Sorry about that. Okay, so definitely good points that Cruz shared. These little colorful baggies, you can find these at Target. Some of the girls like using these because you can, in terms of meal prepping, like if there's certain vegetables that will hold, and you can just put them in the color-coded baggies. So Target has them. Okay. In terms of food delivery services, the reason why I love the one that I go to, and I know that I've shared this with my girls, the one that I use, it's Stop and Shop, but there's so many out there, because ladies, just make your life easy. I understand that a lot of you are busy moms, you work full time. I totally commend you. Go to school, and then you're here trying to get this health and fitness stuff together, right? So now it's like, oh my God, and how am I gonna find time to meal prep? So make your lives easy. Find foods that will hold for a few days, because I know that I'm the type of person that I'm not really good with leftovers, to be honest. However, there are certain foods that you can cook enough for a few days. Like the brown rices, the potatoes, like sweet potatoes, sometimes ground turkey. If you cook yourself like a whole chicken and then shred it up and put it in the fridge, you can use the chicken breast for various meals. So yeah, the food delivery services, whatever you find that works in your neighborhood, that's good in terms of, budget. I like Stop and Shop because they have a really good organic line. It's very, very reasonably priced. And their delivery service is called Peapod, and I love them. I've never had a problem with them. There's also some service that I think Amazon has one, I believe, and like Fresh Direct. There's so many of them, so do your research, see which one works best for you. For so many reasons, it saves time. It will save you money. You can just very quickly go to the website. I know that the one that I go to, it recognizes past purchases. So I very, very quickly, within 30 minutes, ladies, I do my grocery shopping within 30 minutes, and it's delivered. You have to use it for me, I have to do it like 2 days ahead. And it's at my doorstep. Okay. So just for like maybe $4 or $5 more delivery fee or whatever. That I wanted to add anything else to it. I mean, just everything. I actually would like Jerry Ann can we just open her up so she can share, because she said that she freezes some of her food.
Yeah, I'll meal prep on Sunday for, like you said, up till Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
then I'll make another batch of food for like maybe for 2 or 3 days, and I put them in the freezer, and I have them already portioned out with my veggies. Usually I usually do it for the lunches because that's where I can grab it for work.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually veggies and chicken or something, and then I put it in the freezer so that if there's a day that I'm like, oh my God, I had a party on Sunday, I didn't meal prep. Then when Monday and Tuesday comes, I still have about 3 meals in there now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have it, and I have like soups in there and chilies that last long, so that when that Monday comes and I didn't meal prep on Sunday because I had a party to go to, then I could just grab it.
Okay, and that's a really, really great recommendation. On top of that, what I love what you said is that if you know you have a party, an event to go to, so you're really planning ahead, and that's being intentional about your goals and where you're trying to go to. So I really love that, and that's exactly what we need to do when we have events. Have fun at your events. Have fun at your dinners, network, talk to people, but don't use it to go and overeat at the events.
Yeah, because there was one challenger that I had was saying that she wanted to load up the freezer with lean cuisine. I was like, no, that's the first thing. Do not do that. So I said, make your own lean cuisine. Have it in there. It's already portioned out. You just grab it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm always doing something on the weekend. I usually only get Sundays off, and that's meal prep day. So I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? So that's why I try to make at least two days.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Love it.
We recommended Trader Joe's is because I've actually done a lot of comparisons. Trader Joe definitely has a lot of specialty foods, but I compare everything. Like I look at even just their simple tomato sauces that you can use in the spaghetti, their pita bread. Not only is it less calorie, the two products that may look exactly the same, it's also a lot less sodium, a lot of less additives. So that's the reason why we put Trader Joe's here, because if you just kind of start looking and get yourself into the habit of reading those nutritional labels, again, going back to what we said in the very beginning, start to think of this as, I'm doing this for my health. I'm doing this because of diabetes, because of high blood pressure. We all know that these illnesses, conditions, a lot of them can be prevented. You can be controlled with diet. So you need to start thinking of you being on this journey more so for health. The weight will just come off if you think of it more in terms of health and in terms of in the long run. So that's why we recommended Trader Joe's. Get yourself used to reading those labels. It may take you a little bit more time, like when you're food shopping, but you'll get the hang of it and you'll be able to figure it out. You? Me?
Yes, I'll do it. Okay, so this basically goes back to mindset. It's about having a positive mind equals positive weight loss. So you have to understand why, all right? So we have here a couple of practice daily affirmations. I am lighter every day. I am losing weight every day. I can and I will because I care. I am worth taking care of. And I think that one is very, very powerful. I believe as women, sometimes we're so used to taking care of everyone else that we forget about our own health. And we forget that we are worth taking care of, being taken care of, and taking care of ourselves, okay? We listen to what we tell ourselves and reset your inner wisdom. So the recommended readings that we have to start looking at food differently is, and not only at food and nutrition and at things that are going around you. The first one is you are a badass. The you are a badass is not so much about food, but it's giving you that strength and that wisdom that you need to be able to start thinking differently. Weight loss motivation, how to change your mindset, lose weight, and live a healthy lifestyle by Katie May. And Aim True, love your body, eat without fear, nourish your spirit, discover your true balance by Catherine Bobek. Okay? Do you guys have any questions?
I wanted to add a little bit about the whole mindset thing. And this is just something that that has come to me during this journey, is that a lot of the habits that I had developed really stemmed from my childhood, which is why that's another thing that we really want you guys to think about during this journey. And I know we have a lot of coaches here, and I appreciate that a lot of you are, have already experienced great results, but this is something that you can also help your teams with, is that really start thinking back to where a lot of these habits came from. That's why I love You Are a Badass, because a lot of these books that we've read has helped me realize that it came from just things that I've experienced as a child, habits that I picked up. And once I understood where it came from, I was then able to kind of fix it and change it, right? So in order for you to understand where you're heading, you need to look back at your past and your experiences and kind of understand where some of those habits came from, so that you can make those changes accordingly, right? So that's why, especially with You Are a Badass, that's why we felt like that was a really good book to recommend. So does anybody have questions? Let me stop sharing, and now is the time. You guys have questions? Somebody said please. Should we go in the chat?
Yeah, I'm not able to go for some reason, not read all of it for some reason.
Okay, so somebody said Whitney. Who's Whitney? Whitney, 23, a water bottle called My Hydrate. Kind of expensive, but it keeps track of how much you drink and reminds you when you haven't drank in a while. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that is nice.
So whoever said, who's Whitney? I don't know who Whitney is.
It was Erin.
Huh?
Erin.
Hi, Erin. If you happen to have that bottle somewhere, like, you can share it with us.
I had seen it online, and I think it's $39.99, so it's a little expensive, but it looked pretty neat.
Okay. So
I think if you just go to myhydrate.com, and that's where you can see it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Any other questions?
I'm just reading some here, Cruz. So Sally asked about fruit. Did we respond to that? She said no. The whole thing with fruit at night, fruit is a beautiful thing, but you have to understand that fruit is also sugar. I think that some of us get confused with that. Like, we can eat fruits, and there's actually some fruits that are higher in sugar than others. That's something that,
Right. And after 6 o'clock, it's best to just not eat any more fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the high sugar content, especially tropical fruits like mangoes, papayas, pineapples, and bananas. All those are very high in sugar. And if you're going to pick a fruit, if you're going to pick some fruits, what I would say is to pick like the berries, because they're extremely low in sugar. So any of the berries, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, any of those are better.
Okay, Olga said that she struggled to staying up late when I'm tired, when I'm craving. You know what works for that? Because I can relate to that, Olga. Brush your teeth. If you brush your teeth when you're having a craving at nighttime, it is crazy how your mind will think that it's time for sleep. And I bet you money your food craving will go away. It's crazy.
Yeah, that, and I will also say have a green tea. Have a green tea, or have chamomile tea. It works for me. Like, when I do get my little cravings at night at times, and that helps me with that.
See, my problem is when I have tea late at night, I have to pee all night.
I have to pee all night because of all the water I'm having. I live in the bathroom.
All right, there's 2 more messages here. Okay, 39 and then okay. All right, so does anybody else have anything? You guys can unmute yourselves. Do you have any other questions, or was this helpful? I hope it was. Understand that we're not going to get this right. We're not going to be perfect at this, but we have to strive to every day get better. That we do have to commit. To just get better at this every day, right? strive to do better today than what you did yesterday.
So I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Don't
I
get
know I sound horrible. I know I'm sick. I know. I sound like a guy.
Oh.
Karine is my oldest friend. She's known me since I was 2. No, not 2, but don't tell anybody about my secrets.
Since her Lisa days.
Oh.
I
want to speak with you later.
Okay.
All right. How can we get?
So we have, where I work, we have a lot of functions. And it's really hard not to be, to be the only one not eating what everybody else has and stuff like that. Like every year we have like 1 or 2 big sales conferences, and we have one coming up soon.
Okay.
And when I tell you, it's food from the minute you walk into the conference, like waffle bars.
Okay.
And
I could take this.
it's really hard.
You invite me on those days?
I could take this because where I used to work, we used to have a lot of functions. What used to work for me was, I'm not going to tell you don't eat, okay? But what I would tell you is this. What used to work for me is the day that I knew I was going to have my function, about 2 hours before my function, I will have Shakeology, okay? Believe it or not. I will have my packet with me, my water, shake it up and start drinking it, all right? By the time I got to the function, especially because during that time, I was going through my weight loss, time. And I remember my coach telling me, half protein and half veggies when you go.
Okay.
And that's exactly what I did. So I had my Shakeology 2 hours before, and when I would go to the actual function, I would not, say, okay, I'm not going to eat. I would take whatever veggies I would find. I would put some carbs. Just be very mindful about the carbs that you're putting in, nothing fried. And put some protein. Put some good protein on that plate, because protein does fill you up, okay? Carbs only make you even more hungry. It's going to give you that craving again.
Because last year I took Shakeology to the conference, and I was there for a week.
Oh, no.
But I had Shakeology with me. Only in the mornings I would take it.
Okay.
After my workout, I would get up early, go to the gym in the hotel, come back, have my Shakeology, and then go to the conference, and I'm on coffee all day. But then we would have lunch, and then a dinner is like a 8-course spread. And like my office now, we have open bar Fridays and bagel Fridays. So Friday morning you walk into the office and there's a dozen hot bagels in your face.
Where do you work?
3:30.
Good company, trust me.
And then at 3:30 on Fridays they bring out the booze cart, and I'm mixing margaritas and at my desk. So it's really hard, and I find myself like really being hard on myself. Like the exercise is really good and everything, but food has always been, I've been an emotional eater. So if I'm pissed at you, I'm eating. If I'm happy for you, girl, let's go drinking.
Right.
So,
right.
excuse me. So it's really hard. So this year at the conference, I've been like psyching myself, like telling myself over and over again, this year you're going to do better. You're going to be more conscious of what you eat and stuff. And it's hard. Excuse me.
I know that for me, when I go to functions, I just make sure that I don't go anywhere on an empty stomach. I mean, even if you have to sneak some snacks right before you go to dinner.
Yeah.
Because at least you kind of, eat a little bit from whatever is at the table, but you won't overindulge. So, like, definitely.
I'm sorry.
Okay, honey. Like the proteins, the veggies, and even when you go to a function, there will be. Just make sure that your plate is filled up more with the veggies and protein more than anything.
Okay.
It has to be like 75% of your plate.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and another thing, because we have a lot of meetings, is I make sure I drink my Shakeology right before I go there, because the first thing they're going to have are the donuts and the bagels in the morning. Actually, this last one, they had some fruit. I was actually amazed. But I was already had my Shakeology, so it was already full. So I did was grab my coffee and my bottle of water. And then, the meeting was hard because they had all this candy to keep us awake. I was like, you're going to make us crash, is what you I just made sure I was drinking. And what I did was, and it's like you want to be comfortable, but I actually wore like slim fitting clothing because as soon as you feel full, you're going to feel tight. And then you're not going to want to eat anything because it's going to be a little reminder.
You don't want the buttons to bust open.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's a good trick.
But yeah, it's hard because I'm on my feet all day, so I burn a lot of calories just from being at work. But then when I'm at a meeting, we're sitting for 9 hours, and I'm like, oh my God. So, I just make sure it's a lot of the water. But then I did eat whatever they gave us, but it was like they had salad, they had veggies, so I just stuck to no carbs. That's all I did. I didn't have any of the pasta or whatever they had.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you.
Message me when you're out.
I will.
Any other questions?
Hi guys.
Hey.
I actually have a question because this is something that I struggle with and have struggled with throughout my whole journey, and even till now it's still a problem. I'm my mom's caretaker, and my mom loves to feed me, but she does not always respect my meal plan. So I guess, and I'm pretty sure that you guys have like mother-in-laws or your roommates and stuff like that who aren't always respectful of the meal plan. What's like, and with my mom it's a little bit different because she gets very sensitive when I don't eat her food that she makes me. So do you guys have any tips for that?
What I would say to that, being that I know you already, and I know what you're going through, what I would say is have what your mother is giving you, okay, but have it within reason. Make sure that she's giving it to you. Don't say no, okay, but do tell her, I really do appreciate, what you're making for me, but I just need a little bit less of this, okay? And just be a little bit more mindful about what she's putting on your plate. You can always go back. I mean, my mom is the same, okay? My mom, she wants to feed me. She wants to, every time she sees me, she wants to give me my favorite foods. And I have to be like, okay, well, I will take a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You have to just portion what she's giving you, as long as it's not like a big plate of rice, So that's what I would say, unless Denise has something else.
Not really. I mean, I'm going to use Sally. Sally kind of had the same problem. Her grandmother lives with her, and her beautiful grandmother loves to cook, and she cooks amazing, but she cooks a lot of potatoes and rice.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I advise you, Sally? Did I just, I don't know if it worked. Did you talk to your grandma? She just talked to her. What did you do to change that a little bit with grandma?
Hi everyone. I'm trying to substitute the rice with brown rice and the potatoes with sweet potatoes. But let me tell you, it's not easy. But
that's what I was gonna say. That won't be easy for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but then again, I'm also trying to take out the rice and eat a salad or something like that to kind of let her see what I'm eating.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying because a lot of us come from West Indian backgrounds where our parents were raised to show love, because our grandparents, how they show love, how the women in our family show love is we will cook you a feast. And that mentality has stayed. My grandmother would fill my plate and nobody can leave the table till that plate is empty. So now I'm in a family where diabetes, heart disease, those type of things are all over the place, and nobody's really relating it to the food. So they get an added, you're on I get comments like when I go to my cousin's houses and stuff for parties. Oh, I get air quotes. Oh, you're on a diet and stuff like that. But these are the same people that called me just last week complaining, oh, I have high blood pressure. I have this, I have that. And we're all the same age. We all grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say, I'm not one to say, I told you so. But it's really, really hard to grow up in a family, to change how you eat, to think about food differently when your whole life, your entire childhood has been based around backyard barbecues and holiday dinners, and your mom comes to visit and she makes lumbi and griot and rice and peas with coconut in it, and everybody gets a plate full, and you are on salad and a drumstick. Hard. It's really hard, but I've been trying. But I totally get what you guys mean. When mom cooks, or grandma cooks, you're gonna eat it.
Yeah, you want to eat it. And perhaps what you can do is, after you get that plate and you make sure that there's, a smaller portion of what they're giving you, so you're not basically denying them, you can add some vegetables in there. Go into the refrigerator, cut up some cucumbers, tomatoes, lettuce, and just add it in there, so they can see. And that's actually what I started doing with my mom. My mom at first, my mother has usually been a healthy eater, but with me, it's always been like, let me pile on the rice and the beans and all that great stuff. And as delicious as it is, little by little, what I started doing was, just asking her to please not pile up so much for me. And I'll go into the refrigerator and cut up the things myself. So now what she does, because she got it, now what she does is she makes sure to have a bowl of salad for me and my food, So just let them see what it is that you're about. Don't tell them, just let them see it. You can go in yourself and start doing that, but don't deny her. Okay.
Good stuff. All right, ladies. So thank you so much, everybody, for being on. If you have any more questions for us after, you know how to reach us. It's a little bit here past 9 o'clock, so I hope this was helpful. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and we are going to be, someone asked if the slides were going to be going into the groups. Yes, we can put the slides in the groups, okay?
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Any questions, let us know. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Do you want a picture?
Oh, yes. Let's do a picture.
Okay.
All right.
But I got a cute one.
Okay, good.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.